I've been at this for 50 years and still working at it. And it started 50 years ago with coming in contact with this book. This book is called In the Light of Truth. And it's a 3-volume book that I started reading at the age of 19. Okay. This book contains a lot of information, a lot of knowledge, but it is spiritual in origin, and it addresses life. It helps you look at life as it is, and then it helps you see life as it could be, and it helps you to develop what you need to make life become what it can be. So you're going to go, if you read this book and you take the principles and put them into practice, you go from where you're at, what is, to what could be, to what can be, and make it what will be. It's not a book that you read like just through and through, like a novel. And it definitely is not a book you read like the Bible or the Quran or the Bhagavad Gita. It's not a book you read like, what shall we say, A Course in Miracles. No. This is a handbook for living. It's a guide for living your life and discovering yourself, discovering your innermost self, and discovering where you came from, why you're here, what you're doing here, where you're going from here, and how to get there. Reading this book is very sobering for anyone who decides to read it. At the same time, it points out to you what help is available to you. It points out to you where your power really lies. And it points out to you the only way in which you can actually use that power effectively as a woman. Women generate the thoughts that drive men to action. You have no idea the power that you hold within yourself as a woman. Men carry out really what the women are thinking. And if you don't believe me, start paying attention. Start observing the world around you. Very often, we as women lament the fact that there is so much trouble in the world. And we wonder, how can we change that? Well, the first thing we need to do is look within ourselves and ask ourselves, what is my greatest gift or attribute? What's my greatest talent? Your greatest talent is your feminine grace. You know, when you say a woman is graceful, she draws only good thoughts and wishes to herself. But in order for her to be able to draw and attract to herself good thoughts and wishes, she has to have the courage to develop those wishes and thoughts within herself. Because the law is only that which is similar to what's inside you can be attracted to you. And in the same way, if you want high, noble, pure, beautiful qualities within yourself, then you have to allow yourself to be attracted to that which wants to draw you towards those qualities. You have to open yourself and essentially rise up to connect with the source of those qualities. On a day-to-day basis, one can start with only, pick whichever one is what you're struggling with the most. Doesn't matter what it is. Whatever it is you're struggling with the most. Is it fear? Is it a desire to be more honest and truthful? Is it shame? Name it. Whatever it is you're struggling with. And know that there is a woman spirit above you that has been there, done that. Think of it that way. Has been there. And turn and ask. You don't need to get on your knees and recite prayers. You just need to, deep, deep inside you, wish for the help, wish for the connection. And the connection automatically occurs. A little bit each day. It's not going to occur like this. It's going to be a little bit. Each day, a little bit more. Each day, a little bit more. It is much better and easier for you to concentrate on one thing. Whatever it is dearest to your heart. Focus on that and connect with that helper that will help you in that one area. As you go inwardly stronger, then another issue will become more prominent for you. So instead of feeling like you have, you're surrounded with so many problems and things that you really are struggling with, just pick one. Let the others be. And work on that one. Can you help yourself by meditation? By going on a vision quest? By going to temple? Can you help yourself by going to mosque? Yes. Can you help yourself by going to church? Yes. But you've been doing that all along. We've all been doing that all along. And yet there's this threshold that we haven't been able to get past. So how do we get past that threshold? And this is what I want you to take home with you. You can step beyond that threshold. But to step beyond that threshold is to open yourself to help that has been standing right in front of your nose all along, that you have not noticed or paid attention to or seen. And the moment you acknowledge it, the moment you acknowledge the genuine help that the Creator has placed in His creation, and you acknowledge the help that other beings who are standing there ready to help you, and then you are able to receive that help, make use of it, and in making use of it, you become stronger. The moment you become stronger, you will naturally attract to yourself others who are seeking help. That's the way it works. And just by being yourself, you will help others because they will gravitate towards you. You don't have to believe my words. You only have to put them into practice. Once you start to put them into practice, you will find that these natural laws, which we all are aware of, but up till now have conveniently chosen not to pay any attention to them, and yet expect that things should get better. Things cannot get better because these laws have existed long before the earth came into existence, long before you and I came into existence. If we want to see a change in our world, we have to start with ourselves.
I was wondering though, I mean, can you share a little bit of your personal experience? I got the impression that maybe you don't work every day always with the same person, but
Right.
or do you, and has it been your whole life? And
No. Okay. So, there are innumerable helpers, innumerable. As much as you have a whole bunch of different areas that you still need to work on. Like myself, a whole bunch of different areas that I have to work on, right? So for me in particular, it started with, I would like to learn how to use speech and language to say exactly what I mean and to find the right words to say exactly what needs to be said with as little words as possible. That was a major job, to learn to do that, to learn to not chatter, to learn to only speak when necessary and say what needed to be said as succinctly as possible. I needed help with that. Now, one way that you can ask for help from above, but in fact, what you're asking, you pray, you send up a desire for this. A helper who works in that particular frame is waiting for people who are wanting to learn to speak less and speak more clearly and directly. And so you're connected with that helper or those helpers, because again, each mediator is surrounded by innumerable helping mediators, each one below the other, below the other, below the other. And only the one that is lowest, that is closest to you, is the one that you come in contact with. But that one is in contact with the higher one, who's in contact with the higher one, who's in contact with the higher one. So we on earth are the lowest outposts of this chain. And we should receive the help and the guidance and put it into practice, into effect. All right. So for me, I spent years working on this. And now, at this time, my my issue is learning to be truthful. And it's easy to say, well, to be truthful is to speak the truth. Ah, it goes far beyond speaking the truth. To be truthful is to be truthful with oneself, you know? So to be truthful with myself is to be able to see things as they really are and not get carried away with my story about what's going on or how things are. And it takes tremendous inner courage to be truthful with oneself, to see yourself as you really are, not as you imagine, or to see things as they are and not as you imagine, or to even see your neighbor as he or she is and not as you imagine, you know? And when one is able to do that, then one realizes that a lot of times when we blame others or we see others as the problem, in fact, we are the problem. I am the problem and not the other person that I think is the problem. And that's, for me, at this time, that's what I am working on. And I need help. Every time I'm in a situation, I have to call and ask for help inwardly. I don't have to say it verbally, but I ask inwardly. Please show me the truth. Not what I'm thinking, not how I think it, but show me the truth. And sometimes the truth is very painful. So that's what I mean. And that in itself is praying. It's not reciting any variety of, of prayers. It's not even, going to church to worship. It's praying in a living way, in your day to day, minute to minute living. It's with every breath you take, with every thought you think. I hope that helps. Okay. Does anybody else have anything they would like to ask or say?
I think of like improving myself as getting rid of qualities I don't like. But I think what I'm hearing you say is the framing is, what do I need to learn for myself? And then asking for help through the mediators for learning that. Show me how to learn this, that I want to be a better human being at this point, right? Because I'm only a human being. So that's what I can do. Or a more graceful, I guess, how do I learn to be a more graceful woman? That would be one I could use, right?
Mm-hmm. You're so very right. For indeed, the ultimate goal is to become a better woman. And in becoming a better woman, you become a better human being. I'm going to read to you a very brief excerpt, only a couple of paragraphs out of this book, In the Light of Truth. But these paragraphs so pierced my innermost being when I read them that they have stuck with me and have propelled me on this journey. And today, I know full well that I still have a long way to go. Abdushin, the author of the book, writes, "You honor God in the truest and purest sense when in joyful activity you make use of everything creation offers you. For this you can only do when you know and also understand its laws, and above all, when you really act accordingly. Only then does this creation offer you everything of beauty that it contains. Gladly does it give, and it gives to help you. This is a goal so beautiful, so glorious, and yet so easily attainable for you that I exert myself for that reason to pave a way there for you through my message." So this book, whose title is In the Light of Truth, is also called the Grail Message. And the author goes by the name, the pen name of Abdushin. For those who live in the United States and in the rest of the world, you can get the book from the website. That's the website of the publisher. I suggest that if you're interested in reading the book, when you get it, start from page 1 and read it consecutively. It's like putting a jigsaw puzzle together. You know, you put each piece in and you see the picture begin to materialize. It is not an easy book to read. I have to tell you all. It is not an easy book to read. From whatever background you come, it first forces you to demolish all your preconceived notions, all your preconceived ideas about who you are, what you are, why you're here, about the world, about what's important and what's not important, about what's truly valuable and what's not valuable, about God and about religion, about many things. All pictures that we have imbibed since childhood, from our schools, from our parents, from our religions, and it forces you to come to terms, come to grips with yourself. What's your understanding of yourself? What's your understanding of the creation in which you live? And what's your relationship with the creation in which you live? Because when you think about it, you know, in reality, when you were born by yourself. And when you leave this earth, you're going to leave it by yourself. And nobody's coming with you. You're going to step over that threshold on your own. When, you know, no matter how close you are to your most dearly beloved loved one, in the final analysis, you're really alone. You know, in your heart, in your thoughts, in your experiencing, nobody can share that experience with you, no matter how close they are to you. Nobody can enter inside you and feel what you're feeling. It's in your best interest to really search and find these answers and build your life and your person in a way that will bring you lasting growth and progress.